Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news saga continues. I'm Terrence, and I'm back. I know I missed last week. I had a bunch of things going on, and I was feeling a little bit under the weather. So I am back again to get back on track with the Ahsoka series on Disney Plus. But unfortunately, I'm going to be skipping last episode because for me, where we did get some things that kind of slowed everything down again to start building back up, it did kind of feel like it's just like, hey, let's show some things, and it wasn't really it was kind of moving the story along, but it really didn't do much. We probably could have got episode 6 combined with this episode, even though we got a lot in this episode. So I'm gonna skip on. Just as a quick recap, they found Ezra. Episode 6 over. Okay, so now into episode 7. It's supposed to give you a recap. Like I said before, it's like I'm not gonna like recap every pivotal moment of the episode. What I'm gonna do is kind of point out some of the things that really kind of like stood out to me. And I got a lot of questions, and I actually had to write it down. And I know I kind of freeform it normally when I do these, but I'm actually gonna go over the questions. Obviously, with our opening scene, we see Hera in court because she got called back to stand for disobeying the orders, going out there to assist Ahsoka and Sabine. Now, I do like to see consequences in things because then the world seems more real. Where if you disobey an order, there is consequences to it. But I feel like they kind of went over the top with this because they literally have proof. Hey, there was a battle. We lost ships because they ran through us. There is a big hyperspace gate out in the middle of nowhere that obviously leads to another galaxy that Thrawn is at. I believe Senator Zona sits here and keeps questioning all of these things like they're not real, like they're not out there, like it's all make believe and ghost stories that they're telling them. And it was the weirdest thing to me. And I was like, there is literal proof that she can say that, like, hey, we saw the ship leave. We lost pilots. The thing is still sitting there. You guys saw it when you came to come get me. That thing didn't disappear. There's obviously evidence. So I did look at that one a little bit weird. I'm like, really, are we just building drama just for building drama? But in that same scene, I do appreciate that they are still trying to connect the dots. We did a lot with Mandalorian and connecting the dots to Luke. This time we get our first references to like 3PO and Leia. We forget, or sometimes you forget, Leia's a senator at this point. And Hera uses Leia to kind of get her out of trouble. But once again, does she really need it when there's literal proof? Now, it does make me question, since we did get cameos of Luke, and yes, I do know he is still alive. I mean, character-wise, the actor-wise, are we maybe going to get another CGI version of Leia at some point? Because we didn't get to see that middle ground of how Leia was during this thing, and we did get a little sequel trilogy part where we got to see her training as a Jedi. I would like to kind of see where the happy medium of her is at this particular point in time. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, but it would be kind of nice to kind of see it. And I know people would kind of go crazy for the CGI. All right, so the next thing that kind of stood out to me is that the show always still keeps up with the action scenes. I mean, never misses a point. We see Ahsoka and Hu Yang arrive with the Star Whales, and I love the fact that Thrawn is always thinking about things. He didn't just let them show up and just kind of do what they want. He set a trap for them when they set up, and they had to go through fighters. They had to go through a minefield. So I really enjoyed that, but it's always action paced. When they slow it down, they speed it right back up in this show, and I really do enjoy this. Jumping ahead, we get back to Sabine and Ezra back on the planet. My question is, for her not really wanting to tell Ezra everything that she went through to get to him so that way she could see him again, was it really worth it? What's her ultimate goal? I know, hey, in the episode, Ahsoka does show up, and Hu Yang, they got a spaceship, and maybe they can possibly go back, but I'll talk about that in a second. But her ultimate goal was just to find Ezra in the middle of nowhere and just live happily ever after, meanwhile dooming the rest of her galaxy. That kind of like, I know love's a MFer, but you know, hey, that's a bit much for somebody you did not really know was alive, and Baylan Skoll could have been lying to you from the beginning. So Thrawn is obviously thinking the whole thing. I do love his chess moves, and I wasn't a big. I didn't watch Rebels, and I know that Thrawn is pretty calculated from what I'm hearing from the TV show. But it was really, really great to see that somebody really put thought into the movements that they did. A lot of times you see the Empire just kind of doing things kind of reactively. He really thought it through. He was like, hey, we're going to flush her out here. We're going to let her go here. And for an ultimate goal of, hey, I was just buying time so we can get ready to get the F out of here while she was messing around trying to get reunited. Even though Morgan Elsbeth didn't get it, Thrawn saw the beginning and end goal saw the end goal from the very, very beginning. I love that in an enemy, and I think that makes him a great threat going forward, which may not be the only season for him. Now, to jump ahead, where we're gonna see Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, I think I got it right this time, are actually going out to go hunt down Ezra and Ahsoka and everybody else. But it looks like Baylan Skoll's gonna leave Shin to kind of do it on her own with the rest of the hunt, with the assassin droids and I think they're the night troopers, which is a great thing about the night troopers. I like from the previous episode, I love the fact that to see what it's like for the Empire, not to like, hey, we still have all this money, we still have all this power, and we still raise people. It's like, nah, we're kind of a patched up group of people. I love seeing that in the night troopers. Like, hey, we're just hanging on to the cause, and we're just kind of doing what we can do in the meantime. But she goes out by herself after Baylan Skoll says he's not going to be attending, is not going to go with her to go take down Ezra and Sabine and Ahsoka and stuff like that. So it was a little shocking to hear that. So what is Baylan Skoll's ultimate goal? Like, I know he said he's going to see something new, and sometimes you got to tear down the old to get something new. I get it. But it doesn't seem like he's on the same path as Thrawn, and it doesn't seem like Thrawn is even really including him once he found out Baylan wasn't a part of them trying to hunt down them. It almost seemed like Thrawn was sacrificing him and Shin at that particular point in time. So what is Baylan's ultimate goal? Is he going to build something new in this new galaxy, or did he know that this might be the end for him? It does lead to another great fight scene between him and Ahsoka, though once again ending where like, can we get a finish to this already? And I know he's a big bad. We got to prolong it to the end of this, and maybe he's going to come back in next season. But on to Shin and her fight with Ezra and Sabine. Ezra says, don't give me the lightsaber. By the way, why does she have the lightsaber? Didn't they take that from her when they first took her hostage? They gave it back to her? I don't remember that. Maybe I have to rewatch last episode, but she still has it. And is it for just plot's sake that she had to continue to use it and he did not want it, yet he still used the Force? I thought they were really going to say something about his particular character in the meantime that he had been there, that maybe he took on a peaceful life and that he didn't want to kill anybody. But yeah, in that same fight scene, he starts shooting people with blasters later on after he kept doing a lot of Force pushes and pulls and throwing people down to the ground. So why couldn't he just take the lightsaber from the very beginning, especially since he was the better Jedi, the only real trained Jedi? It did not make sense except for serving the plot to kind of keep the threat going on where he probably could have wasted everybody by himself. Also, with that being said, it was a cool element when they were finally captured, when Shin and the assassin droids and the night troopers were all there and they were getting ready to kind of shoot him down, that she didn't back off and said, let's take him prisoner, even though Ezra makes that joke, okay, why don't you take him prisoner? And it was like, no, she didn't come to do that. She came to wipe you guys out, and it was only Ahsoka stepping in to go ahead and get that stopped. So I really appreciate that like in a real situation, somebody would say like, nah, dude, we're out here to terminate you. But we're not taking prisoners at this point. I mean, what's the point of taking prisoners? He's been out there this whole time. If there was anything, they would have found him if they really wanted Ezra. They would have went after him a long time ago. With that being said, what the heck has Ezra been doing out here this whole damn time? I don't need to see an Ezra TV series, so please, Disney, don't give me, and Lucasfilm, don't give me a Disney Plus series to tell me exactly what Ezra was doing out there. But it's kind of curious outside of those, like, oh, just hanging out with these aliens. You had to been doing something more than that. He was like, well, you know, hey, Thrawn's out here and I'm out here. That's good enough. I'm just gonna chill. All right, so I was kind of going off the top of my head there. I think I did a lot of my questions off the top of my head, guys. One of the great things that I liked about this episode, even though in Thrawn's eyes he took it as a victory, this was the first time at the end of an episode does it really feel like the good guys got to win. A lot of times every episode's kind of been like, well, this is the new thing that we're facing. Well, we kind of got our butts kicked this time. This one really ended up with hey, we did all this work. We're finally reunited. Now let's kind of go on and go forward. So I really, really like that. But is it too late? Is now Thrawn going to take off and then go back to our existing far, far away galaxy? Which kind of gives me a little bit of a pause, because I really kind of wanted to see what they were going to do with this character outside of our normal Star Wars universe. Maybe send her off on her own thing, so that way maybe like do a whole new branch of Star Wars out there where it doesn't contradict what they've already got going here. Now, I feel like that's not going to happen, and it is a little bummer to me, and they're going to go back to it. And I understand why. Now, there is a good time jump between now and the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy. So there's a lot of story to be told in that particular point, but it still feels to me like a gaping hole to be said as far as once we get to the Jedi Temple and we get to what happens to Thrawn before we get to the Emperor still being alive. Because Thrawn hasn't mentioned that. Obviously, does he know? Is there a context out there? Are we going to see the Emperor pop up? Are we going to see the seeds of that? Because, I mean, we kind of saw the seeds of that in The Mandalorian with the cloning with Moff Gideon. But, I mean, how far are they going to go with this? I feel like you're going to step on their own toes with this. Or, hey, they may surprise me and do a great job in connecting all the dots and actually making the sequel trilogy fit more better in line with Star Wars. All right, so that's all I have to say about episode 7 of Ahsoka, the Disney Plus series. I will be back again next week. I will not miss a week. You can still hear it in my voice and my nose that I'm a little under the weather still, but hopefully I'll be 100% by next week. We'll continue to talk about this going forward. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe as well as click the notification button so that way you're aware of all the other videos that we do on the channel. So with that being said, you guys take care. Oh, and may the Force be with you. Always.
Wait, guys, are you still here? I'm glad you're still here. All right, so if you look down, I mean, it's somewhere over here. Look down. We actually have a Patreon. So if you guys watch the show and you really like what we want to do and you want to help support the show and you want to help me get an editor so I can get to sleep at night because I'm really tired and you guys see all my mistakes in the episodes. So please go to patreon.com/thegoods. Give us a penny, give us a nickel, give us $1.
Just don't give us the finger.
Don't do that. But make sure you do donate something because we do have some giveaways. There's posters, there's t-shirts.
I'll sign something for you.
Exactly. So take a look, guys, and help us out. We appreciate it.